name is Giuseppe. I'm proud to serve as investment manager at H-Farm Ventures. And today I have the tough job of representing Italy in a panel about startup nations. Italy, so 40% youth unemployment rate and political leaders that are mocked all over the world. But please bear with me a few minutes while I try to explain why Italy still matters to entrepreneurs that are willing to launch a tech company. Scaling the Unscalable, but first of all, who we are and what we do. I work for H-Farm Ventures, which is kind of a hybrid model. We are a seed investment company and we run an accelerator twice a year, and we invest in what we think are disruptive business models in the digital media space. We do it with a physical incubator. It's this beautiful farmhouse next to the Venice Lagoon. Why Venice? Well, first of all, because Venice is one of the most attractive cities in the world, so we can have US venture capitalists come there for holidays, and then we can pitch them with startups. We have an international airport there. It's 10 minutes by car. And because we have a lot of space to grow. So this is our playground. And the little boxes you see there are the offices of the startups when they are seeded, when they are on their very early stage. And then they can move into larger buildings, hopefully, at least. The H in our name stands for human, not like George Orwell or The Matrix, but in a sense that we invest in people, of course. We're the first money in. And in the fact that we try to invest in companies that are bringing a technology to the market, that are making the technology easier to use, rather than just developing a technology just for the sake of it. And we do that, first of all, with an accelerator program that is called H-Camp, because we have the startups actually sleep there. Of course, they sleep in the office, but we also provide them some lodging facilities. And so far, what we accomplished is that in 8 years or so, we managed to fund 54 startups, 7 of which were successfully sold, which is quite an accomplishment for an early stage player, because if you consider that none of these got third-party funding after the accelerator. Quite like double that number, so more than a dozen were exit as well, but not as successful as this one, meaning that the companies went flip side, but that's part of the business. And now I'd like to talk a little bit on how we did that and what we're trying to achieve for the next few years in H-Farm. We try to position ourselves as a meeting point for startups, corporations, and institutions. But I will stick to startups and corporations because we don't like institutions that much, coming from Italy. So what we're trying to do is to connect the traditional industrial framework, companies that are working in the manufacturing industry that are not related to software or technology, with the new products, with the new technologies that are available on the internet, but also with the new processes, like design thinking, customer development. A lot of these things were mentioned earlier today. And we're trying to do that with our investment thesis that is basically that simple. We want to invest in large global market. Well, that's easy. We all like large global markets. And we try to match that with strong local knowledge base. This is what we define an investment opportunity. Like, for example, we invested in a lot in online marketing tools. We were also pretty successful. We invested 100k euros in a digital agency, and we realized 5 million euros when the company was sold to Groupam. But after all, is this a large market? Yes, it is, definitely. Do we have a strong knowledge base in Italy for that? Well, if you consider the investment as a proxy for the knowledge, in Italy you have just 13% of the digital of the total spending is devoted to digital tools, so not really. So what is our focus then? We try to invest in companies that are leveraging the traditional unscalable know-how of the traditional businesses, like what's in the mind of the artisan, of the craftsmen, of the makers before the makers were associated to 3D printers, to the new possibilities that are made available by the technologies such as 3D printing. In a word, we like to invest in made in Italy, scaled worldwide. We could go through a few examples like design. We're good at designing stuff. We Italians are good at designing stuff. We do that with cars like the Ferrari ones, designed by Italian designers. And we do that in the furniture industry. The most striking fact is that we have, within 2 hours drive from our campus, 2 very small areas. Each one is smaller than Lisbon, for example. And they are generating more than 2 billion euros in export value of furniture, of high quality design furniture. And how do we match that with the technology? For example, we invested in fabme.it, which is kind of a digital library for industrial design ideas that are ready to be 3D printed. So we combined the expertise in designing stuff that was in the head of people that are not even aware, maybe, of the existence of 3D printing technologies, and we distribute that to the ones that are actually owners of a 3D printer. Another example could be fashion. Again, some strong local knowledge base that we can tap on that is very close to our campus, what we call the shoe district, a very small area that is located in the Veneto region, within 1 hour drive, and they're generating 1.65 billion euros in revenues. How do we match that with technology? Like, for example, Hummus, one of our portfolio companies, they're providing iPad catalog to players in the fashion and luxury industry. And as I said, we can match that with small local artisans, but also with the big brands like Diesel, which is, again, another Italian and Veneto, and a company from the Veneto area. And this is how we help them grow and eventually get acquired by a system integrator last year. We have strong assets in the tourism field, like 15 billion revenues generated by tourists in the Veneto area. In that case, we don't have a specific success case because the infrastructure is terrible in Italy. And that's why we invested in the last batch in a company called Ospita.me, which is producing a CMS and a booking engine for hotel managers. Food, of course, I don't think I really need to talk about food in Italy, but hopefully this is not just the main topic here. But it's a large market again, and we have the local knowledge there. Another example from our portfolio, one of our partners launched an e-commerce, a wine e-commerce that was called Design Wine, that later on was acquired by Vinitaly, which is the largest wine fair in the world, and became Vinitaly Wine Club. So again, a technology that may be not that innovative, it's an e-commerce, right? Nothing really new, combined with local expertise. I mean, being able to pick the right wines and to distribute it all over the world. Our idea is that we can kickstart these businesses in Venice, in our campus, help them test their model, validate it, and get abroad with the help of our international network. We're members of the Global Accelerator Network, for example. And we combine that with a strong investment in education in our territory. So we have a company, we invested in a company that is providing digital and entrepreneurship master. And we also invested in a training center for 3D animation technologies. So both the technical expertise and the entrepreneurial one. Tomorrow we would like to further invest in education with an international school for K-12, so for kids. And eventually the idea is to build kind of a district of the new digital artisans, a combination of makers, start-uppers, and craftsmen. And hopefully we will have the next Zadi or the next Machina spend some time in Italy and make it happen with our help in Italy, and then go and get it all over the world. That's pretty much it. So I hope I make you forget our political leaders and so on and so forth. And thank you for listening.